Welcome, my fellow darkness dwellers, to a place where the wind whispers tales of horror and the cliffs themselves seem to groan with secrets best left buried. Tonight we descend upon the desolate, fog-choked landscape of windy cliffs, a place where the veil between our world and the next wears terrifyingly thin. These cliffs, carved by centuries of unforgiving waves, have borne witness to countless tragedies. Tonight we exhume three bone-chilling legends from the haunted history of windy cliffs. So, dim the lights, huddle close and prepare to be thoroughly spooked. Our first tale carries us back to a time when the fishing village nestled at the foot of windy cliffs bustled with life and the smell of salt air. Old Man Hemlock, they called him, a seasoned fisherman, weathered and toughened by years spent battling the unforgiving sea. They say he knew these waters better than anyone, knew their moods, their secrets. One night a storm raged, the kind that makes even the bravest soul seek shelter. But Old Man Hemlock, driven by a need only he understood, took his small boat out into the churning fury. He told his wife it was for a legendary catch, one that would secure their future. But some say it was a darkness in his heart, a hunger for solitude that drove him into the storm. That was the last anyone saw of Old Man Hemlock. His boat, splintered and battered, washed ashore days later, but his body was never recovered. The villagers mourned, whispering of the sea claiming another soul, but the story didn't end there. Fishermen returning home late at night, their faces lit by flickering lanterns, began to report a strange sighting. A figure, they said, standing atop the tallest cliff, silhouetted against the moonlit sky. A tall, gaunt figure holding a fishing rod that glinted with an unnatural light. They say it's the ghost of Old Man Hemlock, forever bound to the cliffs, his soul unable to find peace. Some believe he lures unsuspecting fishermen towards the treacherous rocks, their screams swallowed by the roar of the waves. Others say he's searching, endlessly searching, for the catch that will finally release him from his watery purgatory. Whatever the truth, the legend of the phantom fisherman serves as a chilling reminder of the unforgiving nature of the sea and the restless spirits that haunt windy cliffs. Even now, when the wind howls through the cliffs and the waves crash against the shore, some say you can still hear the faint cry of the phantom fisherman, his voice a mournful siren song in the night. But the fishermen weren't the only ones tormented by the spectral angler. Townsfolk whispered of seeing a spectral light bobbing along the cliff edge late at night, always moving, always searching. Some brave souls, fueled by a morbid curiosity, ventured out to investigate. They found nothing but the relentless wind and the unsettling feeling of being watched. But the stories persisted, each retelling adding a new layer of dread to the legend. So the next time you find yourself walking along a windswept shore, listen closely. Can you hear the mournful cry of the phantom fisherman? Our second tale takes us to the edge of the cliffs, where a solitary lighthouse has stood for over a century, its beam a beacon of hope in the darkness. But this beacon, once a symbol of safety, now flickers with a chilling, spectral glow.
A testament to the tragedy of its former keeper, a man named Elias Croft. Elias, a man of quiet strength and unwavering dedication, arrived at the lighthouse as a young man. He embraced the solitude, finding solace in the rhythmic crashing of waves and the company of seabirds. He kept the light burning bright, a silent guardian against the perils of the sea.
Years turned into decades, and Elias became as much a fixture of the lighthouse as the stone and glass that formed it. He married, his wife bearing him a son, and for a brief time, laughter filled the once lonely town. But tragedy, like the fog that clung to the windy cliffs, had a way of seeping in. One stormy night, Elias's wife and son ventured into town for supplies. They never returned. Their small boat, found capsized miles down the coast, was a cruel testament to the ocean's unforgiving nature.
Elias, his heart shattered, retreated further into himself. He continued his duties, his grief a heavy shroud around him. The light, once a symbol of hope, now reflected his own internal darkness. Then, one night, the unthinkable happened. The light went out. Frantic villagers, fearing the worst, scaled the treacherous cliffs to the lighthouse.
They found the door ajar, the interior in disarray, but Elias was gone, vanished without a trace. Some whispered of him finally succumbing to his grief, others of a more sinister fate. Whatever the truth, the lighthouse has never been the same. The new keepers, their faces etched with unease, tell stories of strange noises in the night. Footsteps on the stairs, the mournful clang of the foghorn when no wind blows, and a spectral light that shines from the lantern room, even when the lamp is cold.
They say it's the ghost of Elias Croft, forever searching for his lost family, his sorrow echoing through the empty halls of the lighthouse. A ghostly light, flickering with an eerie intensity, now guides ships not to safety, but towards the jagged rocks below. Visitors to Windy Cliffs claim to see a lone figure pacing the parapet of the lighthouse, his silhouette a stark contrast against the ethereal glow. And as you gaze upon the towering structure, its beam cutting through the darkness, remember the tragic tale of Elias Croft and the ghostly light that continues to shine, a beacon of sorrow on the haunted cliffs.
Our final tale takes us down from the windswept heights to the jagged teeth of rock that lie at the foot of Windy Cliffs, where the skeletal remains of a shipwrecked vessel have rested for centuries. The locals know it as the Siren's Grasp, a name whispered with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination.
The ship, a grand merchant vessel laden with treasures from distant lands, met its end on a night of unnatural stillness. The sea, usually a raging beast, lay calm and inviting, a deceptive beauty that masked its true nature. No storm clouds gathered, no warning tremors rippled through the water, just an eerie silence that pressed in on the ship and its crew.
Then out of the stillness came the fog, a thick, unnatural fog that rolled in like a suffocating blanket, blinding the crew and shrouding the ship in an impenetrable white void. Panic seized the sailors as the vessel, now blind and helpless, drifted inexorably towards the jagged embrace of Windy Cliffs. The ship's final moments were a symphony of chaos and terror. The cries of the crew, the splintering of wood, the deafening roar as the hull met rock was swallowed by the fog and the relentless crash of the waves.
The Siren's Grasp, they called it, dragged down to a watery grave by unseen forces. For years the wreckage remained hidden, swallowed by the depths. But then, as if disgorged by the sea itself, the bow of the Siren's Grasp emerged from the water, impaled on the jagged rocks like a morbid trophy. A stark reminder of the ocean's capricious nature and the fate that awaited those who dared to tempt it.
But the wreckage brought with it something far more unsettling than just the memory of tragedy. Whispers began to circulate among the townsfolk of strange occurrences surrounding the wreck. Fishermen, their faces pale and drawn, told of ghostly figures seen clambering over the ruined decks, their eyes burning with an eerie green light. Others spoke of disembodied voices carried on the wind, mournful cries and desperate pleas for salvation that sent chills down their spines.
The legend of the cursed shipwreck took root, fueled by fear and the unknown. It is said that the souls of the crew, unable to find peace, remain trapped aboard the wreckage, their anger and despair echoing through the years. They wander the cliffs at night, their forms as insubstantial as the mist, seeking retribution on those who dare to disturb their resting place. So the next time you find yourself gazing out at a ship graveyard, remember the tale of the Siren's Grasp. You might just feel a chill run down your spine.
There you have it, brave viewers. 3 spine-chilling tales from the haunted cliffs that stand as a stark warning to those who dare underestimate the power of the sea and the spirits that linger there. The phantom fisherman forever casting his line into the churning abyss. The ghostly lighthouse keeper, his sorrowful light a beacon for lost souls. And the cursed shipwreck, a rotting carcass picked clean by the relentless waves, its spectral crew forever bound to its watery grave. Until next time, my fellow darkness dwellers, remember. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not the ones we imagine, but the ones that are born from our deepest fears and the chilling whispers of the past.